In a bizarre world, I got home from the slot meet in Geelong, which is about an hour from home, and I found a Raleigh engine. Now, interestingly, 1906 and 350 bucks. Both of those incorrect. Didn't pay 350 bucks, and it's certainly not 1906. I figured it was a 250 because it was smaller between the height of the barrel. And this plays back into my theory that the 350 is a stroked 250. I'll grab a 350 barrel and I'll show you the difference. So here's a 350 barrel, and you're looking at about 20 mil, an inch higher, and quite a bit more substantial. I'll put that away and we'll have a closer look at the engine. The engine itself is a bit moth-eaten. The fins are broken away on the top and they're quite thin, they're rusty. It's probably in slightly worse condition than the barrel I've got on the 350. Sadly, the exhaust port is really in poor condition, and you can actually see a hole, I think somewhere, where somebody's wired an exhaust on. It's in pretty bad condition. The cases don't look too bad. Of course, the primary chain case is broken, and the oil feed hole is blocked up with a screw, and there's a few bits. I actually haven't had a look inside, so I'll have a look inside in a minute. Valves are in really poor condition. I think the valves are stuck, the springs are really poor, and so are the keepers at the top and the bottom. Weirdly, I've got a bit more of that, so we'll show you in a minute. That's about the engine. It's not in great condition, but if you've got a 350 that should have a 250 in it, you buy it. I'm going to try and get this apart. The first thing I'm going to try and pull out is the oil pump piece. Lord knows what somebody rammed in there. And somebody has rammed a bolt. It isn't the right thread size, it isn't 26 threads per inch, and Lord knows what damage they've done ramming that down the hole. Bit of a shame, is what it is. I don't know what to expect inside. I suppose I expect that not everything will be in there. You can see that the timing chain gear is there. So here we go. You're going to look at it at the same time as me. Just going to get a hammer. It all came out. Oh wow. It looks as though there's only one. Yeah, looks as though it's complete inside. Wow, didn't expect that. The cam lobes are worn and shaggy. It wasn't full of water. Looks like it's had a little bit of water in it. The gear doesn't look horrible. Doesn't look super. The obligatory pieces of foliage. Lord knows how they get in, but they do. That's not too bad in there. A little bit worn around this gear. Got a shoulder worn on it, and that's a bit strange. And the bolt with the shoulder cut away looks a bit weird. Not sure about that. Let's go a bit further. Might try and pull the barrel off. I thought I'd pull the barrel off now. I got a bit excited. Now, badly, there's only two bolts holding the barrel on, and they both come off really easily, which is always a sign to me that something's about to go wrong. Oh, and the barrel separates really easily. And in these old engines, it always means someone has been in them. Well, someone's been in because there's no rings. That's the first thing I noticed. Oh, someone's been in because there's spiders and cobwebs up the barrel. On a bright note, it came out, which is kind of pleasing. And kind of weird. Wow. The big end has no up and down. None. Oh, that can't be right. Got a bit of side to side. Got a lot of side to side. Oh, well, a bit. But no up and down. Strange. What does it look like in the cases? Well, it looks a bit moth-eaten in there. Looks like there's been a bit of water in there. But overall, not a bad result. The barrel is probably the biggest worry, which oddly is actually the piece that I need. The barrel's actually in really poor condition, and there's that exhaust port. You can see around here, it's just rusted away. Now, probably could be fixed. It could be cut off and a new piece welded on. But all this is cast, and it'd be a fair old job. I'd rather hunt up a new piece. I'm going to grab some what I call spares and show you the bits I'm hoping will go back into the engine. First piece, I have the little covers off the top of the valves. So one's actually eaten away and broken, but I have a pair of them. Missing off the top of the engine is the push rods, I suppose. I don't know what to call them. Let me find a pair out of the 350 and see if they fit. Here's a pair from out of the 350. Ooh, crunchy inside, but I'm guessing they're going to fit. I really would like some lube in that and to clean those out first. But I'm hoping they'll fit. The two valve lifters, I suppose, is what they are. And I'm hoping they'll fit. So that's a good outcome. Let me hunt a bit further and see what else I've got. Right, back at the bench again. And I'm going to hunt through to see what I can find. So, as I mentioned, I've got the inlet valve, and that one's the inlet. And the bigger one, or the one with the thinner nut, is the exhaust. And I think they'll go in and clean up really, really well into the engine. That's a good outcome. Found a sump plug, and it's correct, and the sump plug was missing, so that'll be a good outcome. Found new old stock valve guides, and I think they are new old stock because they're on string. They're now wired together, but I actually think they could be reproductions of new old stock. So I found the new retainers for the top of the valve springs because they look really moth-eaten. I wondered if the Raleigh Club in the UK can help me with new valves and new valve springs. So I must look into that and speak to Simon about that. Now, weirdly, I went to look for a new plug because this plug in the top for the exhaust appears weird. It's loose. There's spiders' webs and a whole range of things inside. That's weird. Now, I've got some of these at home in my other shed, so I'll bring you up to speed when I replace that. Spark plug looks to be brand new, weirdly. Again, a whole range of furry things growing in there. We'll get that apart. I'll get that off because I actually have better plugs than that one. And this one is really, really clean, and I expect that to screw into there because it'll screw into the exhaust port. No primer cup or anything for the top of the barrel. The barrel, as I say, is in really poor condition. So there's a reason to be a hoarder. An engine popped up, weirdly, when I really didn't expect it. And here's the parts that could get it back together. I'm either going to look for new valves or sort of whip the valves out of the 350 and see if they fit. I will try to get these valves out, but I don't think they're going to be great. I'm not going to do anything with the engine. I'm not going to put it in the bike at this stage. I'm just going to leave it out of the bike. But now I have a 250 engine to go with the bike. Bizarre how these things happen. Part 2 of the video. I'm back home now. I've had a couple of weeks off and been away, and I'm just having a look at the Raleigh engine this morning. It's still rough, but it's the smaller of the Raleigh engines. Now, in the first part of the video, I'm very confident it's a 250. I'm not actually that confident anymore. Raleighs come in various sizes, so I actually need to get it identified, and I will do that. However, it's lower, and it would fit in the frame better. Am I going to use it? No. It's rough. It needs a complete rebuild. So, in the intervening period, I have had a chance to think about it, and I really think that, you know, it's pretty rough. It could do with another barrel. Taking the head off, the piston is 60 mil. And so I think they came in a 177 or a different size. I'm not actually sure. So I don't know that it's a 250, but it could be. Anyway, got valve guides into it, or push rods to be more accurate. And this morning I cut off the old spark plug fitting because it was really shagged. Someone had beat the life out of it. And anyway, I beat it a bit more and it came off. So there's no rings and it's in pretty shabby condition. However, should somebody be a purist and want the basket case, as I keep calling her, to be more accurately a 250, and that this is a 250, then maybe they'll love it and maybe it'll be just what they want. So I think it was worth buying and putting with the bike. I paid $175. I don't think I paid too much. The guy wanted $350, as you saw. But, you know, I'm lucky. I have some spare parts. So I have another spark plug adapter piece, and I have another exhaust port plug, and I have a plug for where the primer cup would have been. I don't think I have a primer cup. Now, interestingly, the piece for the oil pump feed doesn't go in this engine. It goes part the way and stops on the threads. So I don't know what that's about. And then I've got these two weird threaded bolts. And I don't think either of them belong in the case. So I don't think I have any more. I actually think I'm one bolt short on my own that I can't quite locate at this stage. So I'll just put that back together and I'll bring you in and show you what I've done. I'm going to continue to lubricate this. I'm going to continue to soak it down with WD-40, and because the valves are stuck at this stage, I can just turn the springs, but the springs are pretty shabby, but I've got a better set off a 350 head and I'll work on that. Come in and have a look. So here's a close-up of the engine. And you've seen most of this before. Here's the push rods, and they spin freely. I did have to clean these holes out really thoroughly and ended up with a tiny brass brush on a drill, giving those a clean out. They fit really well now. Here's the spark plug cap, and if I've got strong enough fingers you can see inside, and it's pretty grungy and cobwebby, and that inside. I think you saw inside of the exhaust, but it's equally bad. It's damp now. And then there's the plug. Here's the oil pump fitting, or the oil metering system that would have been in it, but it doesn't go in. It's a different fitting. So I'm not sure about that, but we won't lose a lot of sleep. I put the engine into the cradle that I had from the basket case from the Raleigh, and then here's a spare 350 head that I had, where one of the valve springs is much better and the other looks like it's come off something else. Well, there you go. That's it. When you think you'll never find something, you find part of something. It's not perfect, but it's better than not having one at all. I'll continue as my swap meets go on and look for a timing chain case that's in better nick, because this one's smashed off and I don't have one. And I have some covers, but it'll be right. For now, I think it's in its right home. It can live with me and it can sit with another Raleigh and a heap of parts that I've got. Good result.